A little but yet very well-known fact is that the Handbuilt Motorcycle Show is held by the guys at Revival Cycles, and I'm here with one of the three kings.
One of the three kings.
Yes, Andy James, who is their lead fabricator, and we're standing next to their actual Revival Moto Guzzi
V9 Roamer.
It is a very eccentric bike that we have here.
It's a little loud, yeah.
There's a lot going on here.
Just a bit.
But I mean, I can understand because Moto Guzzi has always been a supporter of the Handbuilt show.
Yeah, the entire time, actually.
Yeah, from day one.
Yes.
Which is, thank you, Moto Guzzi. We appreciate you.
And we love Moto Guzzi at Revival, all of us.
Yeah.
I actually ride a 1974 Eldorado myself.
As your daily?
Used to be.
Okay.
Used to be. I have a modern bike. We won't talk about what that one is.
Well, this is definitely something that you guys don't normally build.
It is. It's a bit of a departure from what we normally do.
And it's a departure from what Moto Guzzi would normally do too.
I think so, but I think it's very appropriate for the V9 because it is kind of an Americanized bike. It's not a cafe bike. It's more of a cruiser.
Okay.
So when we got the bike initially, Alan and Steph put our heads together. We're talking about what to do with it. And why not build a bobber, hopper, bar-friendly cruiser bike?
All right. You obviously did all the sheet metal work.
I did.
And then, I mean, there's some details in the tank and in this rear tailpiece that you wouldn't normally find anywhere else.
So basically, Jessi, I love all things 70s.
Okay.
If you didn't know that about me, you probably should. So I really love 70s molded chopper stuff. And that was a big influence in the sheet metal work, trying to get that 70s feel and the legitimate molded feel into the bike.
I mean, it literally looked like the 70s just melted all over this bike.
Yeah. The paint helps that too. Yeah. Scott Chemical Candy in Dallas did the paint for us.
Okay. Now, as you were building this bike, how many times did the design actually change?
This one was pretty straightforward in design. We settled on it fairly early, and I was able to stick to it pretty well, which doesn't always happen, but this was a bit of a pet project for me, so a bit of labor of love, so I was able to kind of stay on path.
What was the hardest part about this build for you?
I think just being true to the aesthetic that we wanted to go with. A big part of what we do is try and maintain the modern technology, of modern bikes, fuel injection, ABS that make them convenient and safe to ride, but also to bring it back to something that looks classic and period, and combine those two things.
Right.
And so that's always a bit of a challenge, especially when you're dealing with computers and ABS and trying to make everything play together.
Yeah. Tuck it away to make it look old.
Yes.
But function like it's new.
Exactly.
Reliability is key.
Reliability, safety, all those things.
Yeah. Now, you were saying earlier that this bike was supposed to come out purple?
I wanted it to be purple, but sometimes that's the things that happen organically. When we started doing it and I started having the sheet metal being close to finished, it just wasn't fitting, so we changed to brown.
Okay. And the gold metal flake vinyl was a last minute thing?
That was a last minute surprise for me, actually. Yeah, I was here setting up Handbuilt while the seat was being made.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna think that Alan stole this idea from the R9T that we had in the show last year.
Well, I heard it had glitter and tuck and roll.
It did. It had gold metal flake tuck and roll vinyl.
Bit of a mullet.
Dude, that bike. It's totally a mullet. This, on the other hand, is just...
I don't know. This might be a bit of a mullet, too.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of,
It likes to party.
It likes to party. But yet, there's a serious stance to it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about this bike?
Oh, I don't know. I think one of my favorite things is that we're able to put a girder on a modern bike with ABS. That, to me, is really rad.
That is really cool to integrate the old style, again, with the new style.
Yeah.
How difficult was that? I mean, was that a challenge?
So, luckily we have some really great people. Stefan is a very qualified engineer, was able to calculate everything, run all the simulations, set up the geometry so it handles correctly, and then give the information to Voodoo Vintage, who built the fort for us.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, is this asymmetricalness
100% intentional.
Like, because the gauge is crooked,
Yes.
and the filler is crooked,
Yes.
and everything is like a little off. There's not a lot that really matches side to side on this bike.
So I'm a big fan of Shinya, and I think one of the things that he does really well is this whole wabi-sabi imperfect perfect.
Yes.
And so I love playing with asymmetry, and I think that's part of it. It doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical. You make it asymmetrical intentionally, and then you can do fun things.
Well, you can only look at the one side of the bike at a time.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And, you know, it was meant to be kind of silly and fun. So why not make the gauge crooked?
I love it. I absolutely love it. And like, you got a girder front end, and then you have riser bars.
Exactly.
Wait, because it was meant to be a cruiser.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just really love the narrow, you know, lane splitter, thinking about being in, you know, San Francisco in the 70's.
Yeah.
So the bars were actually one of the first things that we picked for this bike. And that kind of set the tone for the build.
Okay.
And I knew that I wanted to use riser bars straight away.
All right.
Yeah.
So you can literally find a part and build a bike around it, including
Exactly.
handlebars.
Yeah.
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 Right on.
Yeah.
Well, what's next under the Revival belt?
Oh, so many things, so many things. We're working on a really elaborate, extensive Ducati build right now that should be really exciting. It's been a long-term build. We've been doing it for almost 2 years now.
Wow.
And I'm finally working on the sheet metal, so it's starting to look like a motorcycle for the first time.
Wow, where do you guys plan on launching that at?
Depending on when it's done, maybe Handbuilt next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is really fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
What are you thinking about this show? I mean, you're part of Revival. You guys basically created this show.
Yes.
You've doubled in size in 1 year.
Yeah.
Like, what's your take on first day and a half?
Oh, I think the turnout was great. Everybody seems really happy with the new space. You know, it's bigger. There's more room to see the bikes. The acoustics are better. So I think it's really positive.
Fantastic.
Lots of positive response.
And the bikes that are here this year.
Such good bikes. There's so many beautiful bikes. I forget from year to year, and I always think, you know, every year I think there's such amazing stuff, and then the next year there's more amazing stuff.
And the builders behind them are just so amazing and so humble.
It's
and so
such a great
talented.
community. You know, I think that's one of the best parts of the show is getting to talk with all the people that you only get to see a few times a year and share that brotherhood and camaraderie, sisterhood maybe too.
There's a lot of girls here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we interviewed Carly Cobb earlier, Jay Shaya.
Great.
Their bikes are amazing. See, girls can do this stuff too, everybody.
I think we even have an S1000 drag bike that's raced by a woman as well.
Yeah, and she's winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing really well in the circuit.
Yeah.
She's doing fantastic. All right, well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jessi.
Is there anything you want to add about this bike?
Moto Guzzis are great. You should buy one.
All right, guys, we're going to take off, but coming up next, Alan from Revival will be interviewing Craig Rod Smith with his amazing metal fabrication as well. We'll see you guys in a little bit.